Stars fall at my feet, keep me grounded as
I'm Zed, I'm 26 years old, and I make music.
apologize for the fire in my eyes. Let me show you my true color. It ain't no rainbow.
When I was about 4 years old, my parents taught me to play the piano. So from classical music to like jazz and funk, that kind of music was really like my first musical memories. But there was a point in time where I kind of was sick of, doing what your parents want you to do, as every kid probably is at some point, and I started playing in a rock band. We started making metal and hardcore and that kind of stuff for many years, and then I discovered electronic music, so started producing electronic music myself. Now we're here. I think Madison Square Garden is a venue that everybody dreams of playing one day, and this tour is the first time I'm able to do it, and it's a really historical moment for me and for my career. Now we're here and I'm about to play it, so it's a huge day for me. And I've played a lot of shows in New York, and I've been also thinking back to my very first. It was at Webster Hall, and that was one of my first shows in America generally. So that was special to me already, and I remember specifically the crowd here was really, really incredible. So I remember like feeling that energy from the crowd back was an amazing feeling, and I remember losing my earplugs and asking the crowd if they had any earplugs, and somebody was like, yeah, and threw a box of earplugs on stage. But yeah, I remember my first show here for sure, and I've played a lot of shows in New York, and I'm always going to be coming back. Music generally is just opinions. There's nothing right or wrong. It's just whatever you like. And in a band, you always have other people having opinions. And I've always hated the point where, you put your heart into a song and then there's a part and you just really don't like it. And that could be as simple as I wanted to play an open hi-hat and the rest wanted it to be closed. And like I would play it every night and feel like I want this hi-hat to be open. And when I started making electronic music, I loved the fact that nobody else was telling me what to do, so it was all me. If I wanted the song to be 20 minutes, then it's 20 minutes. If I want it to be 1 minute, it's 1 minute. The entire song, every instrument, everything is you, and I kind of like that. I like being able to make the calls and just decide myself what my music sounds like. I think that a lot of what you listen to, changes how you make music. And, there's a lot of songs like Weekend in LA by George Benson. Specifically, I love that song, and I've always loved it as a kid. Bunch of Deep Purple stuff. I grew up listening to a lot of Deep Purple and Rainbow. I was in a rock band, and I think when you play in a band, you kind of learn to separate the instruments and, make them work together a little bit better. You'll have a bass player who will have to make sure that whatever he plays makes sense with the guitar player, and you kind of learn to listen to each other. And I think if you write down my music on a piece of paper and, just analyze it, it's probably a lot more similar to all those bands than when you just listen to it, because the electronic elements and the sounds kind of maybe color it a little bit for you.
2015!
It's kind of interesting actually, because a lot of people will say you're EDM, the next one will say you're electro, the next guy will say you're pop. But I remember when I showed my dad my new album, True Colors, he said that he likes it better than my old one because it does remind him more of like the King Crimsons and George Bensons, because there's a lot of similarities. And I think if I had not listened to all those bands, I would probably make completely different music.
One more time.
One song that I specifically remember is One More Time by Daft Punk, because that song, changed me in a way. I only listened to, anything but electronic music, and that was the first time I actually liked electronic music. And I don't even want to say I did like electronic music, I just liked that one Daft Punk Discovery album, period. I listened to that a million times. And if I had not heard that, then I would probably not make electronic music today.
One more time.
Well, I definitely appreciate everything about my own tour. Having your own production and your own visuals tailored to you and your production is something, something very special. Beeple is a genius. He's a graphic designer. He's been making one piece of art every single day for the last 6.5 years and uploading them. So I've asked him to design my new tour and do the visuals as much as he can do it. And we locked him down for almost half a year, and he's been making all these visuals custom built for my production and setup. So I'm still always amazed by his visuals and by his creativity. I don't know where he gets his ideas, but every single visual is so unique and different, and it just tells you a story without even hearing anything. So far, the feedback I've been getting is pretty incredible. So it makes you look like you're in a different world every single time I switch a song, which I really like. So it's not just the music switches, but your mood also switches because of what you see. I'm having a great experience because I can feel the excitement from the crowd. Sometimes the reaction you get is based on what they see. There's been these songs that have never gotten great reactions, but paired with a great visual, you can tell, there's moments where everybody puts their phones up and films something from a song that nobody knows. I know that for a fact. But, it's visually so stunning, you want to capture that moment, and I love seeing people, capture moments. And my experience is just always kind of watching the crowd and seeing how they are amazed, and that amazes me. And when they have a lot of energy, that typically makes me jump slightly higher. I've been also thinking back to my very first tour with Skrillex, and that was before electronic music blew up, and we all didn't really know what we were doing. We kind of, discovered this together and went through this together, and not gonna lie, we've had shows literally in front of 5 people. Back then, our production was a table. You could see our legs, and we did our own changeovers. We unplugged our, computers and plugged the next one in on stage, and life was kind of easy back then. We didn't have to do much, There was if there were lights, that was great. If not, ideally when you watch my show, you should think that, or I hope so, that you've never seen anything like this before. And from the moment you walk in up till the moment you leave, I want everything to be smooth. Ultimately, I want them to go home and tell everyone that that was the best night of their life. And, you know, that's not just my show, but also my openers are really important. You know, we work really hard to make this show stand out and be something different. I hope that 20 years from now, people will look back to my songs and say that they changed maybe their mind about a certain type of music and maybe changed, you know, type of music I was making in general. What's up, guys? This is Zed, and you're watching Babel Music.